just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very...
that really needed to be mentioned.
That was ridiculous. That was childish. And Sabrina had to let it be known. I don't really think that was necessary. She trying to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying that.
The press conference at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game became one of the most talked about moments in women's basketball history, and not for the reasons anyone expected. It started as a routine Q&A session meant to celebrate the weekend's showcase of talent and unity, but within minutes, it turned into a tense, unforgettable exchange when Kelsey Plum unexpectedly called out Team Caitlin Clark for allegedly skipping the Saturday morning meeting where players had planned the infamous
Sabrina Ionescu quickly, swiftly, and in a hurry, kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care.
Us what you owe us demonstration. According to Plum, none of Clark's teammates seemed engaged during the meeting, and she implied they hadn't shown the same level of commitment to the cause as everyone else. The comment hung in the air, awkward and unnecessary, and everyone in the room felt it. Sitting right next to Plum, Sabrina Ionescu didn't even try to hide her disbelief. She shot Plum.
Y'all need media training, bro. Like, I hate to see y'all really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
Raised her eyebrows and let out a perfectly timed eye roll, followed by a dry, sarcastic, that really needed to be mentioned. The room filled with uneasy laughter, but the damage was done. That small gesture from Sabrina spoke louder than words. Her body language screamed what everyone else was thinking. Why take a shot at someone who wasn't even there to defend herself? Especially when the point of the weekend was supposed to be unity, solidarity, and respect. But as everyone would soon see, the moment also underscored the stark difference between
Sabrina Ionescu did not like this shit, by the way.
And you can just see, even with the way Sabrina Ionescu's reacting, she's like, what did you just say?
And right in front of Sabrina Ionescu, right there, right next to her, you have no shame. This woman is just trashy, dog. Like, Kelsey Plum is trashy, bro. There's a reason why Darren Waller left her ass. Smart man, by the way, because his salary was pretty nice when he signed with the Giants.
Players conduct themselves and how Caitlin Clark, even in her absence, continues to handle adversity. Clark didn't retaliate. She didn't clap back. Instead, she stayed silent, waiting for the right moment to respond. When she finally did, it was with quiet dignity and precision. Far more impactful than anything said at the press conference. The All-Star Game itself had begun on a hopeful note. Every player in Indianapolis walked onto the court before tip-off wearing black shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us," a bold collective statement in support of better pay and improved working conditions. The sight was powerful, the biggest names in the league standing together for a cause bigger than themselves. For a moment, the focus was finally on solidarity instead of rivalry or controversy. Even Kelsey Plum initially praised the demonstration as a profound and emotional experience.
The shirts read, "Pay us what you owe us." And of course, everybody clowned that.
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted to make it look like y'all all were on one accord. You wanted to make it look like the advocacy was there between you all. And you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
She joined you guys to stand as a one united front, and then you go and take shots at her when she's responsible for more than 55% of the business? Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind?
Emphasizing how it was organized in that Saturday morning players-only meeting, but then, only minutes later, she undermined everything by singling out Clark's team as disengaged and absent during the planning. The irony couldn't have been clearer. Here were players demanding higher pay, while publicly criticizing the one athlete, Caitlin Clark, whose talent and popularity have done more to grow the league's visibility, viewership and revenue than anyone else in recent memory. Sabrina's deadpan reaction saved the moment from descending further into bitterness. Her sarcastic quip and composed demeanor captured what many fans, and even fellow players, were probably feeling. Did Plum really just sabotage?
We know your league doesn't make a profit, and the only hopes of it making a profit is that lady right there on my screen.
Y'all only got close to the green for the first time ever because of Caitlin Clark's here.
You tried to get them more money last year behind the scenes. They still didn't like you. You came out and spoke out for black women and black women athletes, especially black women basketball players. They still don't like it. Don't matter what you do. The peers of the WNBA do not mess with you. It just is what it is.
The message by taking a cheap shot at her own teammates. What made the scene even more personal was that Sabrina herself had originally been selected to Team Clark before Clark had to withdraw due to injury. So this wasn't just awkward, it was personal. Sabrina's reaction wasn't just about professionalism, it was also about loyalty. She clearly felt Plum's comment was out of line and unhelpful, and she made sure the discomfort was visible. The press
what? Caitlin Clark didn't have to do that. She didn't have to wear the shirt or anything, but she did it out of solidarity and good faith to help support the WNBA and the other players. What do? You discredit her and discredit everybody on her team about it.
Quickly became a social media sensation. Clips of Sabrina's eye roll and sarcastic remarks spread like wildfire. Fans rallied behind her, praising her maturity and reading the situation perfectly. Even former NBA champions weighed in. Stacey King, who won titles alongside Michael Jordan, called Plum's remarks petty and unnecessary, sparking more debate. When respected voices from the NBA start commenting on a WNBA press conference, it's clear the moment resonated, far beyond just women's basketball. From a business perspective, the entire ordeal underscored
these women are insufferable. They don't deserve more money. They don't get any ratings outside of Caitlin Clark. They openly disrespect her. They don't deserve Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve a league.
Caitlin Clark, I want her to clap back so bad. She needs to clap back, man. Stop being nice. Stop doing people favors. Stop trying to help a sister out. Stop doing all that stuff, bro. These are some ungrateful hyenas.
Of attacking Caitlin Clark, of all people. Even while sidelined, Clark's influence was undeniable. Despite her injury keeping her out of the game, the Gainbridge Fieldhouse was still packed, though ticket prices reportedly dropped by more than 50% as soon as her absence was announced. Whenever Clark is involved in a game, viewership skyrockets, merchandise sales soar, sponsorship dollars pour in.
Part of me just does wish you would be like, look, man, I'm tired of y'all disrespecting. I'm tired of y'all hating and taking shots. Go figure this out on your own. Let me see y'all get a deal done without me, without my numbers, without my fans who y'all all claim was racist. Y'all called all of her fans racist, but you want to use the numbers supported by those same racist fans. You want to use those numbers to try to get more money.
Presence is the reason the league is finally able to talk about raising salaries in the first place. Without her, the league doesn't command this level of national attention. So when players wear shirts demanding pay us what you owe us, while simultaneously throwing shade at the one person making that pay increase even remotely possible, the hypocrisy is hard to...
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't gonna pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
But the problem goes deeper than just one press conference. This wasn't an isolated incident. It's part of a troubling pattern that's been building all season. A pattern where certain players seem more interested in tearing down Clark than supporting the growth she's brought to the league. From the start of the season, Clark has faced physical fouls that go beyond competitive play. Marina Mabrey's shove, Jordan Canada's hard hit, and multiple uncalled cheap shots have circulated widely on social media, drawing criticism from fans and analysts alike. Despite enduring repeated hits, Clark has never lashed out. She doesn't get pulled into the drama. She simply gets back up and keeps playing. Even when the WNBA itself admitted Mabrey should have been ejected for her foul, Clark kept her composure. No tantrums, no inflammatory statements, just quiet, focus, and resilience. That level of professionalism should be celebrated. Instead, she's met with hostility.
Taking a shot like this at the player that's the only reason you're in a position to ask for more money is crazy, and that's a fact.
Them relying so heavily on Caitlin Clark, one player, to generate their money, it's going to take some time, man, to get y'all those $200-300 million contracts, bro. It just is. This isn't like a one and done thing that's going to take, you know what I'm saying, a year or two. Y'all got to show proven years of winning. And the way y'all attacking Caitlin Clark, beating her up, battering her, I don't know what the future even look like for y'all with viewership and entertainment.
Our own peers, both on and off the court. Even the league's internal culture has started to feel fractured. The now infamous player ranking poll, which laughably placed Clark as only the 9th best guard in the league, is another example of how far some are willing to go to downplay her impact. When that list was published, fans and analysts across the country called it out for what it was: jealousy disguised as evaluation. The backlash dominated headlines and sports talk for days. Yet players like Plum seemed to double down on the narrative instead of correcting it. This behavior is not just damaging to Clark personally, it's harmful to the league's long-term prospects. Professional leagues thrive when they elevate their stars, protect them, and craft compelling storylines around them. That's what builds fan engagement, drives revenue, and attracts sponsors. What the WNBA seems to be doing instead is letting petty rivalries and jealousy dictate the narrative, turning away potential fans and undermining their own progress. The consequences are already showing. Corporate sponsors are paying attention, fans are noticing. Even while injured and kept from participating, Clark continued promoting the league, showing up for media obligations, and supporting her teammates. Meanwhile, her peers, the very ones benefiting from the financial growth she's brought, continue to throw stones. And this brings us back to that press conference. Those black shirts should have been a defining moment of unity. Instead, the message was overshadowed by unnecessary, divisive comments. Instead of a powerful statement about fairness and progress, it became another bitter reminder of the toxic environment.
How did we get to an all-star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on.
Some players are fostering around Clark. To casual fans and corporate sponsors watching, it looked disorganized, petty, and unprofessional. Rather than drawing attention to the real issue, the need for fairer pay, it became a story about internal dysfunction. Caitlin Clark deserves better, not only because of her talent, but because of the grace, humility, and professionalism she has shown through it all. At just 23, she's handling the spotlight with more maturity than many of the veterans who should be setting an example. The WNBA is on the verge of a golden era. The pieces are there: rising ratings, packed arenas, growing sponsorships. But unless the players and the league start pulling in the same direction, stop undercutting each other, and start valuing what's actually driving the momentum, risk throwing it all away. Sabrina's reaction, that subtle but searing eye roll, was more than just a meme.
I mean, you're going to mess around, and a large, massive group of fans are going to be like, enough is enough. We've never had to see anything like it in sports, but you don't see these other leagues going around talking crazy about their fan bases all the time like this league does. It's continuous. They're running their mouth about the people that are paying money to see them. You don't have other jobs where people walk up. You're in a public job that's in front of the world.
More than anything, this controversy highlights a major disconnect between how
necessary reminder that the league can't afford this kind of behavior if it wants to keep growing. You don't bite the hand that feeds you, and you certainly don't drag your biggest star through the mud when she's done nothing, but elevate everyone around her. In the end, what stood out was how differently two players handled the same moment. One chose to sow division, the other chose to rise above it. And when it counted most, it wasn't the loudest voice in the room that won respect. It was the quiet grace of Caitlin Clark and the knowing glance of Sabrina Ionescu that truly spoke volumes. If you stand with Caitlin and Sabrina, if you want to see the WNBA succeed because of players who lift the league rather than tear it down, then drop a CC and subby in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. The game deserves better, and the future starts with players who understand the bigger picture.